Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa, Cardenas, practitioner here with CSL Denver. I invite you this morning to, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes for our invocation. And as we do close our eyes, or as we focus within, we know that Spirit is here at all times. It is that comforter and supporter and healer. It is with us every step of the way in our journey in this path of life. And as we enter our sacred ceremony this morning, we know that we are supported by Spirit, and whether we are sitting here in our little sanctuary here in Denver, or whether we're out in the world, whether we're in a mosque or a temple or out in that garden of life, we know that we are one and connected through every heartbeat of who we are. And so with deep, deep gratitude this morning, and always with gratitude, we know that the talk this morning resonates with each and every one of us throughout the week. And we move into this place of solitude and healing and contemplation, knowing we are who we are, and that is Spirit itself. And so it is. The reading I chose this morning is actually an excerpt from a podcast by Tanya Lee. And she was interviewed about the secret to living a passionate life. And Tanya shares, so many people come to me wanting to find their passion. And what I tell them is that passion is an emotion, and emotions are never created by anything outside of us. This perspective comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's our thoughts that creates our emotion, never what's happening in the outside world. She goes on to say, I was always taking care of everyone else, quite literally, and started to really neglect my own self-care, and I was just lifeless. Can you relate? You're sort of numb. You're just getting through one day after the next. And so I found myself asking the same question, what is my passion? And it was really frustrating because I couldn't find it. I didn't even know where to look for it. And then I discovered a secret that would forever change my life. And I found this secret in a book by Abraham Hicks. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Abraham, it's all about the law of attraction, which on some level I deeply believe in. But I don't take it to the extent of thinking that we attract terrible things in our lives, like illness or world disasters. But if you think about the law of attraction, it is always about reaching for what feels a little bit better and a little bit better. And so to think that you have created bad things in your life that feel out of your control, does that feel good? It doesn't for me. So while I do believe in the law of attraction, I don't believe in using it to beat yourself up. But the law of attraction states, you attract who you are. Whatever you're a match for is what you attract into your life. So when I think about that time in my life, I was definitely attracting more situations that I was bored in. I was definitely attracting more people who wanted me to care for them. I was definitely attracting negative people, but honestly, the negativity was in my own mind. So I was just a perfect match for all of those things that I did not want. So number one, you attract who you are, and who you are is an energy of a feeling state. And you get to create that feeling state no matter what is happening in your outside world. For starters, I started showing up in my life as a passionate woman. And the way I did this, I started to really get into a state of gratitude, because gratitude cannot exist without lifelessness and boredom or even fear. So that is the secret. Gratitude leads to a passionate life. Now, I will admit, I'm not passionate about everything that I do, but I always know that it's an option. And I am, on most days, more passionate than not. But it is an option, and I want us all to consider, what if we made the decision to bring it into everything we do? By waking up and generating the emotion of passion, I then started to see more things that I was passionate about. So, introduce yourself to yourself. Even if you're in a place right now and you feel like you've lost that part of yourself, I promise you, you are in there. You are love and compassion. You don't have to find it. It's who you are. Again, passion is an emotion that you get to create by how you think. Wise direction from Tanya, I thought. Thank you. And from Ernest Holmes, he backs her up by saying, work with your consciousness until it ceases to function on the level of problem and begins to function on the level of answer. It is mathematically certain. I'm going to say that again for all you rational people. It is mathematically certain your problem will be solved if you do this. You may not find this the easiest thing in the world to do, but even though it may be difficult at times, you must never permit yourself to become discouraged. The reward is certain. And so it is. Okay, Diego, it's time for music.
We're going to start it off with a little call and response for those of you who want to do it. Are you ready for this? Yeah. We're gonna actually add some moves to it too, because this morning we need to fortify our faith. So we want to get it in the body. So this is how it goes. Clarify. Magnify. Now I'm going to say occupy, and you say occupy your faith. So I say occupy your faith. And then we're going to glorify, testify, fortify your faith. That's it. You got it. You're yeah.
That's it. And when I sing with me.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay. Let's take this baby for a ride. Ain't no way. Here's what you gotta do. Every day you gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith. Then you gotta glorify, testify, fortify your faith. Fortify your faith. Oh, you got to fortify your faith. Oh, yeah. I went on and I grew up. I started to question. I said, what's up with my life, the world, the universe, and how things work? Why am I here? What's my worth? I started to notice synchronicities and a power beyond what I could see. Next thing I knew, I heard Spirit say, here's what you gotta do. Every day you gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith. much bigger than me. It starts in the heart and grows and grows. Where it stops, God only knows. So if you're down, if you're blue, remember that spirit is bigger than you. Let it hold you, take you, shake you. And here is all you have. You gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith. And then you gotta glorify, testify, glorify your faith. Oh yeah, you gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith. And then you gotta glorify, testify, glorify your faith. Oh, you got to glorify your faith. Oh, you got to
Woo! Good morning, and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing universal principles to empower our lives and the lives of others. Now, I'm here today. After that, I don't even know what to say because I'm trying to testify to what it means to share your purpose. And then I even guess before I even do that, I need to clarify what my purpose is. And sometimes that's not an easy job. But there's an old saying that I grew up with in the church that said this: if you've never been tested, then you don't have a testimony. So if we're going to live a life of passion, if we're going to share that passion with the world, we have to understand that we take life on life's terms. And as Teresa was sharing from the podcast, this whole idea of attraction, but more importantly of choice, is key to everything we do. It's key to life, it's key to happiness, it's key to sorrow, it's key to everything in terms of what you choose, Now, each one of us has been given a unique talent and gift and expression that today is needed more than any other time on the planet, at least that I'm aware of. Now, I'll leave that just there. But I think history will bear me out that right now we are in need of some clarifying and some testifying and some occupying and some magnifying. We need all these things to begin to live in a world that we intend to be here in the morning when we wake up. Because at the pace we're going, that's sometime in question. We don't know what may happen overnight that can turn everything in topsy-turvy. And if you're not quite familiar or you got a little amnesia, just think about what happened in 2020. Overnight, everything was shut down. So we have to be prepared to share our gifts, because it was because of the gifts and talents and passions that people had that helped us transform that situation into a more amenable situation, right? And so when we are able to do that and jump on this journey of faith, because it is by faith, we walk by faith and not by sight. Nobody saw that coming. There was a lot of prediction about when it was going, but nobody saw when it was going to go away or become more normalized, right? So that was because somebody had a passion about fixing things and repairing things and making people well, that it took place. Now, I want to start by sharing this quote, if you will, by Wayne Shorter. Now, if you don't know who Wayne Shorter is a jazz musician, and he said there are two milestones in life. Two milestones. The first milestone is you're born, and the second milestone is the day you find out your passion and purpose. Nothing else matters. The day you were born and the day you find your passion and purpose. Now, for those who may not be jazz enthusiasts, Wayne Shorter played with anybody and everybody. He played with Miles Davis. He played with Art Blakey. He played with a group that some of you might remember called Weather Report, right? And he just passed away this year. And he has a tune. He has many tunes. He wrote he was a prolific composer. But there's one song I would invite you this week to go and search out called Footprints by Wayne Shorter. Fabulous tune, fabulous jazz tune. But that was his point. His point was, after you were born, the greatest thing that could ever happen to you is to find your passion and purpose. Is to find your passion and purpose. So now we know that deep within inside of us, we've learned that through this month, that there is a flame, that there's an emotion, that there is some inspiration and motivation, and all these things collaborate together to create a fire in your soul, a fire in your soul. And we can verify that if we go to scripture, if we go to the Bible and look at this first quote here that we're going to put up from Exodus. And it reads as such. It says, "And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and all kinds of skill." Now, we know this was written in a masculine perspective, but that means him and her, right? Because God don't leave anything out. And God has said, for each of us, we've been filled with skills that will allow us to be successful, that will allow us to be who we dream to be. And that dream is only a dream of a seed that was planted before you were born, of why you were here on this planet, what you have to do. Now, he further backs that up in the Bible by saying this on this next verse out of Peter. Go back one. It says, "Each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." In its various forms. Now, just on these two verses from the Bible, we see that we are each here with a passion. And that we're basically here to serve humanity by displaying them, by using them. But if we don't cultivate them, if we don't clarify them, if we don't testify them, we are leaving a void in the world. Now, we've heard about black holes and how powerful they are and how they kind of suck the energy out of stuff, leave a void. Well, that's what's happening when each one of us are not showing up, sharing our purpose. There's a void that's there that just sucks everything right into it and keeps us not only from being who we are, but it keeps the world from being what it should be or what it could be. So are you sharing your purpose today? That's a question that should be rolling in the back of your head. Are you sharing your purpose, your passion today? Now, in today's language, that may come across as you got to find your voice. You have to find your dance, and then you got to do it. Irrespective of whether you get paid, whether somebody likes it, whether you get cheers, or whether you get your face on Time magazine. It doesn't matter as the person of the year. What matters is that these voids that are eroding the fabric of life, because God has given us everything we need. Just we got to share it. We got to serve. We have all these skills. Let's make it happen. Now close your eyes for a minute. Think about all of the skills that people have displayed. And imagine what it would be like if they didn't. Imagine what a world would be if we were afraid to share our passion, if we were duped into believing that we didn't even have a passion. What would that do? How would that affect you or serve the world? Because there is no other way for us to be happy, I would submit. If you have a passion and you allow it to be dormant, if you have a passion and allow it not to be shared with the world, your happiness will be deprived and the world will be deprived. And so if we look at this next slide from that I think clearly kind of shows how we are asked to approach life. It says in Matthew 5:4-16, you, I emphasize, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Now after that, there should be no reason for you not to share your passion. There should be, because we all are embodiments of these three verses. We all have a light. We all have something to shine. But sometimes I know fear makes us kowtow, or self-doubt makes us not want to share our voice. But we have to, because you won't be happy, the world won't be happy, and one day we may wake up and find ourselves in a world that we hardly recognize. And then the first thing that we want to do is start blaming. We want to blame somebody else for something else that we should have been doing. We have the passion for it. Everybody who knows me knows that I have a passion for genealogy. If anybody, it's probably a bad thing if you're with me and somebody asks me about it, because I'm like a squirrel. I'm going off course. Because I'm excited. I'm passionate about this idea of family, of sharing, of understanding why we're here, our purpose, and to understand in some cases that passion, that thing that's in me, is something that's been passed down from grandma, our great grandma, our grandpa. But you have to examine it. But when you will find that passion, it's like you say jump and the other person will say ha ha, you want me to jump because I'm ready to go with this thing. That's why we are here. So when you share your passion, and I've talked to people who could really give 2 cents about genealogy until I talked to them. After I finished, they said, well, maybe I need to sign up for that ancestry.com thing you're talking about. Because they see the passion in me. They see the ability to connect things and to create confidence and to get rid of fears that people have to be what God has created them to be. And so that's why we are looking at why we share our passions. And so I'm going to leave you with 3 spiritual truths of why you have to do that, of why you need to share your passions. And the biggest one, I believe, is this whole thing where it says, I am my brother and sister's keeper. Full stop. I am my brothers and sisters' keepers. Because if my brother gets sick or my sister gets sick and we're in the same house, guess what? It's going to be hard for you not to catch that sickness. We've all experienced it. We've all experienced where someone in the household, whether it's a mother, father, sister, brother, partner, they get sick and you try everything. You go in that room, I'm going to go in this room, and let me know when you're coming down because I'm going up, and all kinds of schemes not to catch it or not to be infected by it. But inevitably, if you're in the same place and you're running in the same circles, eventually you will be affected by it. So we are our brothers and keepers. And that's why we want to share our passions. Because these passions can keep us on the path. These passions could keep us from going into peril when it's not necessary, because I care about you and you care about me. And we serve not only each other, but we save a greater cause, which is the cause of the divine. And that is to be your brothers and sisters' keeper. Now, there's a little qualification. Here's a qualification on that. You got to do it with love. You can't do it begrudgingly. You can't do it seeking reward. You can't do it. Here's an interesting one. You can't do it seeking revenge. Some people give love seeking revenge. My daughter has a perfect phrase for it. She called it the sweet nasty. The sweet nasty. She's very nice and cordial and formal, but in the back of her mind, she said, "Boy, I really want to do something different here." But you can't do that. She know it. But she said sometimes they get me in that moment, and I just, better than doing what I want to do, I better give them some sweet nasty. But we have to do this with love. We have to do it with love. And by being our brothers and sisters' keeper, it's a tangible thing. It's not just words. Now, we know words are powerful, and we know there's nothing in the universe that was not created without a word or idea or thought. But if we just stop there, we're going to have a void world. You have to put those thoughts, actions, and ideas into a tangible form, and that is by doing something. You have to be active. You have to be active. Now, once you understand that you are your brothers and sisters' keeper, that's why we're sharing these passions. The next thing that falls closely in line is it helps build relationships. Now, who of you today, as they say, tell the truth and shame the devil, does not depend on some relationship with something or somebody, even if it's just a good relationship with your mattress when you try to go to sleep at night? There is nothing in the universe that's not in relationship. Nothing. So we must begin to understand, by sharing my passion, I begin to build relationships. We see the same similarities. We see the same concerns. Now imagine me and somebody else who's in a genealogy get together. That's a problem. I'm telling you right now. If you're trying to get a word in, you won't. If you're trying to leave soon, you won't. Because the passion of sharing and building that relationship and skills and talents of how to go about this work will just consume us. And if we've only met for one time, once we leave, there is a bond, there is a relationship that has been established because of a passion to bring something forth to the world so that no one feels they don't have a place to belong because they don't understand their lineage. No one has a place to feel sorry for themselves because the only story they've been told is a bad story. Are you going to share your passions today? Because we need to build these relationships. It allows us, more importantly, I think, to be our authentic self. To be our authentic self. Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm from the South, and sometimes I can split a few verbs and come up with some things that y'all say, what the heck did he say? But that's authentic. That, you know, if I was to say, like my grandfather would always tell me, some tea. And I'm like, some tea? He said, no, you got to go get some tea. I said, Granddad, what? You got to go get something to eat, some tea. Now, if you don't understand that, you lost. But he was being authentic. It was like, hey, this is what we do. We go get some tea after we work. We have to be authentic. Now, somebody come from the outside and say, I don't know what what that guy's saying. I'm just going to nod and smile like we do. Yes. And say, boy, I don't know what's going on. What was he doing? Could have been giving you something to save your life. But that person was being authentic. And that's what building relationships is about. That's what sharing your passion is about. You're not worried about whether it's formally or correct or all of that. It's about something that's in your heart, something that's in your soul that needs to be freed. And when we build these relationships, they begin to be a foundation of solid ground, a foundation of commonality that we want to share our gifts. We want to share our passions. And so last but not least, the capstone, after we've understood that we're our brothers and sisters keepers, that we develop these relationships, you get the opportunity to fulfill your purpose. You get the opportunity to do that because you're already in a mind of, I'm my brothers and sisters keeper, so I have a part to play. No, there's no big and small when I'm trying to save the planet. When I'm trying to save a family, when I'm trying to save myself, there is no big and small. There's only what's necessary. And as you know, once you've done what's necessary, then you must do what's required. Sometimes that requirement ain't part of the necessary because the necessary is in the little box. It's not always authentic. But when you are looking to fulfill your purpose, the why you are here, there is nothing holding you back. Nothing holding you back. And as it's, we are God's gift to the world. We just have to wake up and realize it. We have to put water or put a cover over that fear so that we, kind of like the light. If you put the lamp over the light, it dims it. But if you do that the same thing with fear, it happens the same way. Universal principles work. So let's begin to share our passions so that we become lights of service. How about that? So we become examples of what service is, and we begin to build relationships, and we begin to know exactly who and what we are and why we're here. When we look at this next slide here, this one is very important, I think. It says, everyone has a purpose in life and a unique talent to give to others. And when we blend this unique talent with service to others, we experience the ecstasy and exaltation of our spirit, which is the ultimate goal of all goals. That's it. That's it. And this next slide, this one is a little comic relief because it says when we go to this next slide. Next slide, please. Harvey McKay, who's a columnist and a businessman, he says even the Lone Ranger didn't do it alone. The Lone Ranger didn't do it alone. So work together. Share your passion. And when we get to this idea of what's ours to do, we get this next slide, and I think this will sum it up. Without you, infinite possibilities remain just that, potential. It stays unformed possibilities. It is you who are needed by life for its potential to take form. It's you. It's me. It's us. It's we. And so when we can step into that and hold that and be that and share that, then there's no stopping you, me, or us from sharing our passion and creating a world that works for all. And so as we step into this week and we look for our call to actions, because we have to have some actions. We bring up these call to actions and we want to look at how we're going to utilize these. So if I can get that slide on call to actions. First thing, take some time this week in nature where the voice of the divine is unmuted. Don't take your radio, don't take your earphones, don't take none of that. Take yourself into nature and just listen to the unmuted voice of the divine. And after you've done that for a while, then contemplate the idea that you have everything you need to fulfill your dreams by sharing your passion. By sharing your passion. Because when that happens, something will be stoked within you. Something will be heard in that divine conversation. And you will be charged to lead a life that is exemplary. I like to close with this summary. Sharing your passion is not just about self-expression. It's about fulfilling a higher calling, a journey of faith in faith. It reminds us that our passions are blessings meant to be shared with all. We contribute to a world that is more inspired, more connected, and filled with God's love. So let us go forth from here, ready to share our passions and make a positive impact on the world and those around us. And so we use this affirmation to anchor that in so that we know exactly what the touch tone is so we can get that affirmation. The affirmation for the week. Yeah, I'm not, well, the affirmation, and I don't remember it by heart, and I should, but it's the passion in you. I'll make a new one right here. How about that? Let the passion in you be your guide in all that you do. Let the passion in you be your guide in all that you do. Let us pray. Gracious God, the seed of all passion, that flame that runs deep within our soul, that allows us, that reminds us, that encourages us to awaken to who we really are, to awaken to the skills and talents that each and every one of us has been blessed with, has been gifted with, so that we know exactly why we're here. We know that we are our brother's keepers and that we are here to develop relationships that allow us to fulfill our mission. And that mission is to be an example of divine love, of divine inspiration, of divine knowledge that is waiting for us to bring forth. And so I know that for each and every one of us right here, right now, that as we speak this word of prayer, that as we open our hearts, minds, and soul to the infinite wisdom of the universe, we do so looking to be lights of sharing. We're looking to be passionate examples. We're looking to be the one that we have been waiting for. Because without each and every one of us doing our part, there is a void in the universe. There is something that has to be filled. So why not fill it with passion? Why not fill it with purpose? Why not fill it with service? And just watch how the universe unfolds. And so I declare this to be true right here, right now, for each and every one of us this day, and for every day going forward, that we will serve God by serving our passions, by being exactly who we are. And so we give thanks for that. We give thanks for the opportunity to rise to the heights, knowing that I'm not doing this for selfish reasons. I'm doing it for universal love, to share these passions, to be exactly who I am, to be exactly who you are. And so it is in that declaration of raising our voice to do our dance, to sing our song, that I release this prayer into a law that is already working. It is already in action on each and every one of us to rise up, to be seen, to be heard, to be in service to all mankind. And so I just know that this is so, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. Amen. So we want to thank you for being here with us today. I hope your fire is on fire and that you're ready to go serve and share your passions. And right now, it's that time of offering service where we support this institution, this community, and what we're doing to ensure that everyone has a place in the symphony of life. And so we are grateful and blessed for all that you've done and for everyone that gives and supports CSL, whether it's in time, talent, or treasure. And if this is your first time, we thank you. If you're a returning member, we thank you. And there are many different ways you can give and support CSL Denver: by going to our website and clicking the donate button, or by looking at the stream that's running across the bottom that gives you the number to text to, or the P.O. box to send a check. But however you give, please give. And we have some service opportunities coming up real soon to help our young people in the community. So look forward for giving your talents as well as your funds. We want to do it all. And so if it feels comfortable, place your hand on your heart as we customarily do when we do our offering, and repeat our affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. Amen. So now Teresa will come and give some announcements.
Okay, we have many announcements this morning, or like what I like to say is opportunities. So listen up. First and foremost, we invite you to attend Sunday service next week in person, as we will be celebrating Rumi Engineer's 80th birthday after service with a cake during fellowship. So bring your party hats and horns and come and have some cake. On Thursday, September 21st at 7 p.m. at the Center for Spiritual Living, Northern Colorado, they are excited to host Karen Drucker, the celebrated singer, songwriter, and motivational speaker. And if you haven't heard her, she's fabulous. The location is 1815 Yorktown Avenue, Fort Collins, Colorado, 80526, which is inside the Unitarian Universalist Church. It's open seating, but there are limited seats. So if you're interested, get your tickets soon through eventbrite.com and search for Karen Drucker concert tickets. Children are welcome with special pricing, but there is no child care that will be provided. And additional information is on the table by fellowship for early bird discounts and a 15% discount code for ticket purchases of 3 or more. Also, a heads up to everyone, we'll have more information for you next week, but we are excited to have a class that Elzia will be teaching, a 4-week class starting mid to late September. It's called Keys to Consciousness for Personal Spiritual Growth. Keys to Spiritual Growth. It will most likely be Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. here at the historic Grant Avenue building, but we want to firm up all the pertinent information first, and we'll be giving that to you soon. This is an in-person class only, and there will be lots of lively discussion. We always have great discussions when we do a class. And you can send an email to info@csldenver.com to let us know if you're interested in receiving information about the class. We have older Science of Mind magazines for free on the table next to the fellowship table, and we still have August Science of Mind magazines available for $4. We've been informed that the Science of Mind magazine, it's going to go to an every other month publishing, but they'll have like August on one side and September on the next. So you can look forward to that happening. If you would like to hear some good news of the world to inform the good in the world, I know you always want good. There's a lot of bad. I thought the other day, why don't they balance the bad news with the good news? We have a link on our Facebook page called And Now the Good News. This program is put together by New Thought Media Network and airs on Fridays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, or you can watch these anytime during the week. Just go to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver Facebook page and click on any post that says, And Now the Good News. New Thought Media Network has 40 years of weekly broadcast programs. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. There's something for everyone. Okay, so we are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays and joining us online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, the divine beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your passion. Now let's close out with Chris Chickering. Say that 10 times fast.
This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are light, we are sunshine, we are what we believe. We are hope, we are promise of everything that's yet to be. We are bliss, we are laughter, we are flowers in the spring. We are life, ever flowing, and these are the words that we will sing. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are strong, we are fearless, we find the comfort in our souls. We are real, we are open to the destiny that's ours to hold. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are here, we are present in every moment that we breathe. We are peace, we have freedom, and this is a song for you and me. Yeah, this is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with